About optical instruments. The first is microscope. Microscope is a simple magnifying lens. It's a magnifier. It uses a focal length. It uses a converging lens, a convex lens, and in this actually the object has to be placed more than 25 centimeters because human eye has a limitation. If you place the object before 25 centimeters, it finds it difficult to focus. Here you can see that the image formed is erect, magnified and virtual. So in this actually two cases come. One is a near point and one at infinity. Okay, when the object is placed. So you can see here in this particular situation, theta O is the angle made by the object, and this angle is very small. So you can write tan theta is equal to tan theta O is equal to h by d. D is 25 centimeters. If this is very small, then this will become theta 0, theta O. Okay. This is the case when image is formed at infinity. Okay. So theta I is the image formed at the infinity. When you place the object at focal length, the image is formed at the infinity. So we talk of two types of magnification. We talk about one is a linear magnification. Now this what you're seeing is a linear magnification. Okay, here you compare distances. This you have seen in that mirror derivation v by u, and h dash by h is the height of the image by height of the object. There is one more magnification called angular magnification. Here you compare the angles. Theta I is the angle made by the image and theta O is the angle made by the object. So this can be derived. So if you take the basic derivation, m is equal to v by u, and mirror equation you know already, it is 1 by v minus 1 by is equal to 1 by f. So basically you want 1 by u. So 1 by u, if you take this side and 1 by f that side, you get 1 by f v minus 1 by f. This is what is this. Multiply with v, you finally get this equation. Now here if you see the diagram, so the rays are in this direction, measuring dimension in this direction. So this will be minus. So v will be equal to minus d. So this equation has become 1 plus d by f. Okay, if this is the object placed at the near point. Now if you want to find this angular magnification you see it is m is equal to theta I by theta O, or theta I will be equal to m into theta O. So this is what we have used over here. Okay, so theta O we have seen already, it is h divided by d. So theta O value we already have. So this theta I will be h dash by h dash is the height of the image and b is the height distance of the image, which is minus v because sign convention. Okay, so theta I is equal to m is what, v by u. Okay, so finally you get h by minus u is equal to theta I. If you place the object at focal length in order to make the image at infinity, this becomes theta I is equal to h by f. You have theta I value, you have theta O value, so m will be equal to h by f divided by h by d. If you simplify, you get d by f. So you need to remember this point that when you are you have to see whether you are at the near point or at the infinity. So we'll talk about compound microscope. In a simple microscope you use only one lens, and if magnification the maximum magnification it will achieve is 8 to 9 you will get. Okay, but if you want more magnification, You have to go with a compound microscope. Compound microscope, you have an objective, you have an eyepiece. Objective focal length is less, so here focal length of objective is less than focal length of eyepiece. So you can see here the image is inverted, magnified and enlarged. Okay, virtual, it is virtual. So here what happens is, basically compound microscope is used so that first the distant object what you have, the its first image is formed because of objective and within the focal plane of the eyepiece. See, if you try to look at the object, you cannot directly see it, so you use an objective. Objective will first converge it at its second focal point, and then this comes under the focal plane of the eyepiece and it will form the image backside. Okay, so this is the situation in this. So here actually when we talk about compound microscope, we take angular magnification. And in our previous video I have discussed that when you use two lenses, how to find the combined magnification? You have to multiply the individual magnifications. Okay, ME. So you have to find magnification of objective, you have to find magnification of eyepiece, and you have to multiply them. So you have to see whether you are at the near point or at the infinity. So at near point it is 1 plus d by f. Which f we have to put? Eyepiece, because final image is formed by the eyepiece. If it is at infinity, it is d by fe. Okay, so you have to basically find tan beta, and see there are two angles here. See, if you want to find tan beta, you see this triangle also you are getting tan beta. It is h divided by fo, right? And this triangle also you are getting beta. It is h dash by this dimension, right? So h dash by, it will be, we call that dimension as L. From this point to this point, this point to this point, we are calling it as L. So h dash by L it will be. So you have this equation now. So h by fo is one definition, h dash by L is another definition. You compare these two, you get this. Okay, because magnification is defined as h dash by h, so which is equal to L by fo. Okay, this is for the objective. Then you have to find for the eyepiece. Eyepiece, you have to take one of these two. If the image is formed at infinity, you have to take this formula. So multiply this with this, that is what is the magnification. If you see an example, this FO value is given. Okay, objective focal length is provided, eyepiece is provided. Okay, and tube length is given. Tube length L value is given. So you have to find the total magnification. So multiply both the magnification factors, L by FO into D by FE. Okay, so you are getting a magnification of 250. It is highly impossible with a simple microscope. Simple microscope will never achieve this kind of magnification. So telescope, this microscope is one type of optical instrument. It has two types, simple and compound. Then telescope, it is used for viewing distant objects. Okay, it is basically used for viewing distant objects. There are two types, terrestrial and astronomical. It is basically the reverse of compound microscope. It too has an objective and a eyepiece. Here objective is bigger, focal length of objective is bigger than focal length of the eyepiece. Terrestrial means on the earth, far off bodies. You want to see far off objects. But this is means like you want to see stars. Okay, so there are two types of telescopes. So in the case of telescope, we only talk about angular magnification. We talk about angular magnification. Angular magnification will be alpha is the angle made by the object and beta is the angle made by the eyepiece. So you have to find beta by alpha, basically tan beta by tan alpha, but because these angles are very small, so you have to find tan beta, you have to find tan alpha. So what is tan beta? So tan alpha, if you see, it is h by fo. You see this triangle, okay? You see this triangle you see, it is h by fo, okay? And if you see tan alpha, see tan alpha we have found out. Now we have to find tan beta. Tan beta means we have to find this. So you see, you constructed a line here. It's very close by, so here it will be h by fe, okay, in this triangle. This is beta, this is also will be almost equal to beta only, okay? So it is h by fe. So this h and h will cancel and you are finally left with fo by fe. This is the magnification formula for the telescope. Here they will talk about the tube length. Normally you will be watching the stars in the telescope, it will be something like this, right? So what is this tube length? Tube length is fo plus fe, okay? From here to here it is the tube length. This information will be given in the numerical, so you should understand these terms. Now when you talk about astronomical telescopes, you get two types of errors: chromatic aberrations and distortions. Chromatic aberration means, see, basically light consists of all these red, violet, indigo and all these colors, all these 7 colors combination is light. Now when you see a distant object, what happens is, in chromatic aberration, this all these lights focus should be at one point. So red will be formed at some point, blue will be formed at some other point. This type of problem comes under chromatic aberration. They don't focus at a single point, okay? Distortion means when you are looking at stars, two stars which are close by. Let us say you have, this is the surface of the earth, and from here you are watching the stars. You are watching two stars. These two stars are at a very long distance, and in fact the distance between them also is very high. But if you see, the angle subtended will be very small. So basically you are seeing the images, and the images will be very blur, okay? So that comes under the distortion thing. So for that, what you are supposed to do is you have to increase the resolving power. So in this type of telescope, what they do is they use another mirror inside. See, earlier what they used to do is they used to take a concave mirror. So in concave mirror, we have seen that situation, this is a concave mirror, okay? And you place an object coming at a long distance, it will form the image at the focus. Long distance means object which is placed at infinity, the rays will be parallel. So this is what this is doing. So the person will be made to sit over here and he will see that, okay? Because basically if you see this formula, magnification is how much? fo by fe. Fo by fe, if you keep on increasing, you get more magnification, but there is a limit. You cannot go beyond a certain point. So for that purpose, they have discovered this type of a telescope. Now this is reflecting telescope because you are using another convex lens inside, where the ray will fall and it will be reflected into a tube, which is the eyepiece. So this type of telescope is called Cassegrain, okay? A secondary convex lens is kept at focus, which converges ray inside the tube, which has an eyepiece for watching. So using this, you can boost the resolving power, and this chromatic aberration also can be tackled. Let us discuss about human eye. In human eye, what happens is the images from a far off object, they pass through the cornea, and through cornea they enter into pupil. Pupil is a part of this iris, okay? This pupil is connected to the ciliary muscles. This pupil you can contract or expand using ciliary muscles. It is connected to the retina, where the image is supposed to form. This eye acts like a convex lens, converging lens. This retina is connected to optic nerves which transfer the information to the brain. So this is how the system is. So it's a complex system and it happens so quick that you are not able to even recognize it. Okay. So here it all depends upon where the image is formed. So because of that there are some defects in human eye. So let us see them. See, sometimes what happens is the image is formed before. It should be forming on this black line, but it is forming before. This is called short-sightedness or nearsightedness. It needs a correction, and the correction is this. They put a concave lens in between so that this image shifts P dash moves to P. This is called short-sightedness. In the second situation, the image is formed outside, so it has to be brought back. So we use a convex lens. So this is called farsightedness. There is a third type. It is called astigmatism. Okay, astigmatic eye. It is written over here. Okay, astigmatic eye means this cornea curvature is there like this. There is a vertical plane. Sometimes what happens is the curvature in the vertical plane or in the horizontal plane. This is the horizontal plane. This is the vertical plane. Let us say. Vertical plane is like this and horizontal plane is like this. This curvature, some problem comes. What happens is this is the object which is in a square shape, but you are seeing it is distorted. It is not, it is visible something like this. Okay, it should be perfect square like this, but there is a curvature here. It is because of that error. So in this case what they do is they put a cylindrical lens in between. These three type of common defects come. Okay, that is as far as human eye is concerned. Let us see some numericals now. So we have discussed all 3 points. We have discussed eye, we have discussed compound microscope, simple microscope and telescope. So you have to remember the formula for microscope and telescope to solve the questions. So in this question actually 2 lenses are given. One is a concave lens, another is a convex lens. The object location is given and they are asking you if the image has to form at infinity, what is the d distance? How much should be the d distance? Okay, how much should be the d distance? This we have to find out. You have to apply the lens formula twice. If you apply for the concave lens, it is 1 by v minus 1 by u is equal to f. Here u is equal to minus 12. Obviously it is in the opposite direction of the ray, and focal length is given as minus 6. Okay, focal length is given as minus 6. In the second situation, the image is formed at infinity, so 1 by v will become 1 by infinity. This time you are writing for the convex lens, and this will become v1 minus d. If you solve this equation, what are you going to get? You are going to get 1 by v is equal to, this becomes minus 1 by 12 and minus 1 by 6. Basically you are getting some minus value. Okay, so it is minus v1 basically, even though we are writing as v1, but it is negative distance. So when you are measuring object distance from this end, it will be minus d and it will be v1 whatever it is, but v1 is coming as minus, so you have to use v1 minus d here. So if you solve this, you get v1 and d. So if you solve this, you get actually 4. You put 4 value here, you get the value of d. So d is 8 centimeters. The index of the refraction of violet light in silica flint glass is 1.66 and that for the red light is 1.62. So the refractive indexes are given, mu v and mu r is given, and they are asking you what is the angular dispersion. Angular dispersion, we have seen that it is delta v minus delta r. We have to find these two. So angle of incidence is given and apex angle is given. Apex angle means this angle, and angle of incidence is given. Okay, this angle is given. So if you apply the Snell's law, this is, remember, this is A for the prism, this is B and this is C. So I is given, U is given, you can find out R1, and you know that A is equal to R1 plus R2, right? So you know R1 you know A, you can find out R2. So once R2 is known, you can apply Snell's law for the second surface. You can get the value of I2, right? Once you get the value of I2, you can find the value of delta V, I1 plus I2 minus A. Same procedure has to be done for this red portion also. Okay, and here you are getting I2 in the case of red 58.6. Okay, so you have to find out delta R. Okay, I'm just telling you the procedure, you just do it. So delta V you have to find, delta R you have to find. For red also you have to do the same procedure. Once you do that, you have to just find delta V minus delta R. That is the definition of angular dispersion. Find the speed of light, wavelength 780 nanometers in air, and medium of refractive index 1.5. See, this concept you understand that suppose this is a medium, light rays is entering from this medium to this medium. Let us say this is the normal, this is air. Here light speed is how much? 3 lakh kilometer per second. Here it won't be them, it will be something else. It will be 2 lakh, let us say. Okay, what happened? Light speed reduced. It reduced because this is some other medium. So refractive index is defined as mu is equal to C by V, where V is the speed of light in the medium. So what will be V? V will be C by mu. So refractive index basically reduces speed. If you write refractive index as 1.5, you have to divide the light speed by 1.5 in that medium. So this is what it is. So you can find the speed. That is the definition of refractive index. The same logic goes well with the wavelength also. Refractive index is the amount with which the wavelength is reduced. So lambda of air is provided, refractive index is given, you can find the lambda value in the medium. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.